Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and this is a word of caution regarding watching pick a card love readings. So while there is nothing inherently wrong with wanting to know where you stand with the love interest on your mind, the reason why you're wanting to know where you stand with them matters greatly, as it can greatly impact your mental and emotional well-being. So a very good question to ask yourself when it comes to why you're watching pick a card love readings is, am I simply curious or am I actually clinging? Holding on to hope isn't always a good thing, especially if it's keeping you stuck in limerence or in codependence. The last thing I want to do is to enable limerence and codependence with the content that I create. I want to help you create a life in which you're truly thriving, not keep you stuck in survival mode. And I know how it all works because I've been there. So this is where grace, knowledge, understanding, and compassion come in. It's okay if the only way you're able to self-soothe in this moment is by way of participating in coping mechanisms, distractions, and the like. As long as you're also doing yourself a favor by learning how to heal the wounding that has been fueling any limerence and or codependent patterns that you might have. My promise to you is that as you heal the wounding, your dependency on your SP, which means specific person, aka the person on your mind, or your ex, will begin to dissolve naturally, to the point where you're not even curious about what they're thinking and how they're feeling about you anymore. I know this to be true from personal experience. When you're ready to start healing the wounding, I have some amazing resources to get you going. My personal recommendation is to start with 2 videos, how to stop manifesting separation, and then the other one is called Releasing the Wants. Both videos will be linked in the description box below. My heart is always with you guys, and with that I bid you more happy viewing. Love, Michelle. What's going on, Pile 1? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love readings. They're the most popular ones on the channel. I totally get it and I understand why. Okay, so this reading we are channeling through where do you stand with your person? Who are you to them? What do they want with you? I don't even know what we're going to call the main title of this reading, but it's, you know, getting the tea, all right? We're getting the goods on what's really going on here, so you guys know where you stand. Okay, and I do these readings just so that to give you guys, not necessarily, I don't have a problem giving you guys hope, but I don't want to give you hope that's going to keep you, you know, hanging on to a very toxic dynamic. And so all these readings are to empower you guys, to give you the raw, honest truth, whether, you know, it's painful or, you know, feels good, whatever the case may be. Just keep that in mind, you guys. Okay, so also this is a general reading, so anything that resonates, claim it, run with it, do whatever you want with it. If something isn't resonating, just, you know, leave those behind for the people that it resonates for. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into the energy of you and your person's connection. All the booking details are in the description box below. There's a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out. All right, let's see. Pile 1, you were drawn to the, this is red Jasper and Hematite heart. Very unique find for me. All right, let's get their overall. Let's see, who are you to them? We got the Page of Fire. Okay, so they might see you as very innocent and very, yeah, very innocent, very sexy. This could be a newer connection, or this could just be a connection that's in the beginning phases, you know, and sometimes, you know, even connections that have been, or it could be casual, right? I am picking up exciting, though. I'm picking up the word exciting with who you are to them. I'm going to be honest, in the energy that's coming through, this almost feels like they see you as a friend. Yeah, there is some attraction there with fire energy coming through. There's definitely romantic and sexual attraction there, but it doesn't, unless this is a connection that's brand new, like you just met this person, right? There's something going on with the fact that, see, I don't feel like, sorry you guys, this is me fleshing out the message. Page of Fire energy with support, the support energy there makes me kind of feel like this has been an ongoing connection. And the fact that it's been an ongoing connection and it's only showing up in page energy, almost makes me feel like, yeah, they see you as fun and exciting. It's very lighthearted though, like who you are to them. I don't want to say you're not somebody important, but the fact that who you are to them is coming through in page energy, it's like you don't hold a lot of influence or weight when it comes to your role in their life. And I know that's coming through blunt as fuck. Okay, I might have to put some kind of a disclaimer on here. That could just be the energy of your person coming through as well. So, I mean, you might know this. This might be something that you and your person have, discussed before. Page of Fire, because I am taking reversals and neither one of these cards came up in the reverse. And so there is a very innocent energy, lighthearted, even carefree. For the vast majority of you, casual is coming through, okay? Your person, it feels like, yeah, there's attraction there. It doesn't feel like it's developed though. Okay, page energy is just getting started. It's still developing and stuff like that. So let's see what else we have going on. Oh, check this out. So we have I'm serious about you and about us, but we also have I'm not over my ex / the third party. And then lastly, we have I like you, but I love me more, looking out for number one. This is, yeah, now I understand what's going on here. Regardless of the status or how long this connection has been in place, there's definitely, I'm interpreting it as a wrench, right? You guys may be fine, having something casual, not completely serious, but yeah, I see that it says I'm serious about you and about us. But, oh, I'm being shown two different examples of what this energy here is talking about. Oh, okay. This is going to be a cautionary thing for a lot of you, okay? Because, I mean, I'm not over my ex / the third party. That came out on the board. That's here. That's energy that your person is in right now, okay? They still carry a torch for somebody else. That's why the energy of this connection stays in, like, who you are to them stays in page energy, okay? I know it can be confusing because over here it has I'm serious about you / us, and that carries more king or queen or like, emperor or empress energy. That's not where they're at though. And I was having a hard time like reconciling that, but I'm being shown two perfect examples of where this dynamic I've seen it play out before in connections. And basically like the gist of both of those connections were these people were with, their long-term partner, their wife, their spouse, or whatever. They were with that person. One of them, they were only with that person for like 2 years, but then the other person was with their person, what was it, their ex for, I think it was it 10 years? Shit. But in both examples, the people that I'm thinking of, they left their, long-term, the people that they were with, and then they like immediately got into like new connections. And yeah, they were serious about that new connection, meaning like they locked it down, right? Or they wanted to lock it down. But in the example that I'm being given, these, they actually locked it down. They got into a committed connection with a new person, and they hadn't, taken the time to properly grieve and unhook themselves or detach themselves from the previous person. And so, yeah, they got into serious committed, quote unquote, it wasn't exclusive on either account, but when they were getting into the connection with the new person, they got into a relationship not having fully gotten over the ex slash the third party, and then like love triangles ensued because of that. Because the examples that I'm being shown, those people went back and forth. Like they stayed with the new person, but they kept going back to the old person behind the new person's back. So this is a very heavy cautionary thing, something kind of like a heads up for you guys to look out for. Okay, this is energy out on the board. Okay, this is not something where it's like, oh, it might be that way. No, if you were, you know, if you were drawn to this pile, and I can see now why we have the hematite and the red jasper here. There's a lot of grounding that needs to happen. Because your person, pile one, they're not over the past person. There's still an attachment there to that past person. For a lot of you, your person is still in love with that ex slash the third party. Okay, that's why this connection has not been able to go out of or develop or graduate out of the page stage, because they're in, you know, king or queen or even emperor empress energy towards someone else still, because they haven't taken the time to, you know, process the grief associated with, you know, breaking up that past connection. I hope that makes sense. So, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a damper. Not the greatest of news, I know. But it's definitely a heads up. It is something to watch out for. You guys may already be aware of some red flags in that regard. And this is, you know, this is a message coming through saying, don't disregard those red flags, okay? If something feels off, definitely trust your intuition, because it's speaking out for a reason. It's here. And there's a reason why the two examples I was given were both examples where the people in question created a love triangle and they kept going back to the ex behind the new person's back, all right? Let's see, what are we doing now? Let's see, where do you stand with them? Pile, you know, and if this is a love triangle, all right, it very much could be pile one. You know, you might identify as being the actual ex or the third party. Just take the, I'm seeing three. There's three people involved in this dynamic, whether you know it or not. Now, if you know that you're involved in a third party thing, it's more than likely because you are the ex or the third party tuning in, right? Just put yourself where where you belong in the dynamic, okay? Pile one's person, where does pile one stand with you? Where does pile one stand with you, pile one's person? We got clock. It says need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. We also have karmic, fleeting, triggers, turmoil, resentment, lessons, letting go and loving you. Let's get one more. What does pile one stand with you? I will say whichever role you are playing, I'm just going to read it from the stance that, you know, you're the new person, right? You're not, I'm going to read it from the standpoint that you're not the ex or the third party that they're still in love with, okay? But again, adjust the information as it relates to you. This is giving me, this is letting me know your person knows. Your person knows that they're still stuck and hung up on the ex slash the third party, okay? They're hoping that, well, let me see. Let me get one more. Or two more. Ooh, palm tree heart with the key. Yeah, so when it comes to you, pile, and then, which one is this? What is going on here? Oh, wow, okay. Those flipped up for a reason. At the back of the deck, we have love. Ooh, I'm gonna, this could be, especially if you don't allow yourself to learn whatever lessons you're needing to learn from this experience, pile one. I'm just giving you a heads up. This could end very painfully, okay? Let's find out what's going on with, let's see. So we got palm tree and heart with a key. We also have the snake and mirror. You know what? Let me see if I can isolate, because I am picking up on, obviously, third-party energy, but I feel like all three of your energies are coming through, and I'm having a difficult time reading it with so many energies involved. Let me clear the energy. I just want pile one's person feelings, and I just want pile one's energy and the person on pile one's mind. Where does pile one stand with you, pile one's person? Pile one's person, where does pile one stand with you? Ooh, that's still a lot. Okay. And love, I saw love still at the back of the deck. Okay, there's love here, okay? Again, it's not coming out on the board, but I keep repeatedly seeing it, and at one point it even showed up at the bottom of the deck, so it's there, but it's not the strongest, and I feel like it might be because it's, you know, most of that is being held, like a vast majority of their heart, I should say their attachment, right, it is going towards someone else. Pile one's person. Where does pile one stand with you? Where does pile one stand with you? Where does pile one stand with you, pile one's person? Oh. I can see how this dynamic goes both ways for your person, though. Like, even if you are the ex, or, you know, even if you are the ex, this is your person basically letting you know they're hung up on you, but they're also hung up on the ex as well. They don't want to let either, I should say they're having a hard time letting go of the person in the past, okay? I'm not picking up necessarily where they don't want to let go of that person. They haven't been able to do it yet. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you're the person, you know, that's they're primarily, you're the main person. In a role way, okay? You might be the one that has, you know, you might be the one that's spending all the time with your person. I don't know. This is so confusing. All right, so we have love call. We also have heartbroken. It says deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, mourning. We also have not today, but it's showing up in the reverse. So in the upright position, this is not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, avoiding a call, or avoiding a person. So, and it also says boundaries and still angry, okay? So, I mean, okay, just scrap, yes, third-party energy here, okay? You're just going to have to put yourself where you see fit. But, you know, where you stand with them, you know, they still want to talk to you. We do have that they're heartbroken here. So, I mean, you could be the one that they're not currently with. Okay, this is deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost. And yeah, that could be it. They're feeling lost. Again, they might not really know. They're feeling pulled in two different directions, and they're having a difficult time figuring out which way they're wanting to go. Let me find out what's going on with not today. And then we got seduction, yeah. Oh man, this is attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third party interference. I cannot get away from it. And again, it came out on the board, okay? This is a third party reading. That's why things are getting so complicated, because there's so many different energies, you know, being represented in this reading. It just is what it is. But let's come back to pile 1. Tell me more about love call for where pile 1 stands with you. Pile 1's person. If they have been avoiding you, they're not wanting to do that anymore. Your person is sad. They are missing you. This is why they're in this energy of where you stand with them. They want to talk to you. They want to have conversations with you. They want to spend time with you. You know, they wanted to do it yesterday, right? They're not avoiding you. They don't want to avoid you. Tell me about love call. There's just something, someone. There's someone getting in the way here, okay? Love call. Tell me more about love call. This is very indicative of this energy. Yeah, they want to, there's definitely someone getting in the way of them being able to just call you up and freely express, you know, some of the things of what they're feeling. You know, this is also inner, like a struggle. They want to call you, but they're feeling, what's that word? Hesitant to do that. They're resisting the urge. They're fighting themselves against calling you. You know, and they may also want to talk to you about, you know, competition, which, you know, in a third party reading, that would be the third party, right? Tell me more about the 5 of Wands here. It's not safe. That's why they're not. If your person, you know, if you guys are separated and they're not talking to you, it's not because they're avoiding you. They literally, it's like they can't. Your person feels like that would be a reckless thing to do. So, you know, the more and more that this reading is coming along, it almost feels pile 1. And, you know, just again, if this isn't what resonates, this almost feels like you're the third party, the ex that they can't get over. And, yeah, your person feels like they're split in 2 different directions, but it may very well be that their primary, you know, they have a primary commitment. They have a commitment, like, not literally on paper, but you see what I mean? But then it's like, you know, their heart still belongs to somebody else. Yeah, I feel like you're the one they walked away from, or you had to walk away, okay? But again, put yourself where you see fit. Tell me more about heartbroken. You know, on any account, your person is still very attracted to you. It just feels like they're not at liberty for whatever reason to act on that. Okay, they don't. It's just for whatever reason. Heartbroken. Tell me more about heartbroken. They don't know what to do to make things better, and that is because they're stuck in limbo. You know, they know that they have several options or paths that are available to them, or, you know, that's at least what they want, but they've gotten themselves into a space where, you know, they don't really know what path to choose. Because now they've gotten themselves into a situation where whatever path they choose, the other one's going to be blocked off for good. right? And so they're associating this choice with sacrifice, which is exactly what's going to end up happening. If they choose you, they're going to sacrifice the other person. If they choose the other person, they're going to sacrifice you, and they see it as like either way they're still losing, right? They don't know what to do about it. They don't know how to fix it. For some of you, your person really doesn't know how to grieve properly. They don't know, or they won't, you know. That's like, you know, that's one of the things that they could do, is just grieve and mourn the loss of whatever connection they're still largely hung up on. But it's like either they don't know how to do it, or they don't want to. They want to skip that process altogether, which I feel like is exactly what they've been doing. When they left the old and immediately got with the new connection, that's what they were trying. They're trying to skip the grieving and the mourning process. And for a minute, they may have been able to, right? Because sometimes the newness, the novelty of a new connection, you know, the honeymoon effect can do that until the novelty wears off. And then all of a sudden, they that heartache, you know, leaving what they left behind, you know, comes back to haunt them because they never processed it in the first place. Tell me about not today showing up in the reverse. Tell me about not today in the reverse. Tell me more. This almost feels like someday. Someday. Your person almost has hope for this connection working out at some point in the future. Okay? I'm telling you, I'm picking up, and that feels like that's tied to the ex/the third party, okay? Not whoever this, you know what I mean? God, this is so, if you are not the one actively dating your person, there we go, okay? If you are the one actively dating this person, you're the one they have a spoken commitment with, you're the one that's dating them officially, right? Just know they got somebody, their mind is on someone from their past, and they secretly hope that things with that past person are going to work out at some point in the future. Yeah. Knight of Swords in the reverse at the back of the deck. Let's see. We're going to move on, find out. Let's see. What do you want? What outcome do you want with pile 1? What outcome do you want with pile 1? Pile 1's person, what outcome do you want with pile 1? Broken promises. Pile 1's person, what do you want with pile 1? Thorny rose, but it was wanting to come out in the reverse. So in the upright position, it says painful love experiences, fight for love, and worth the troubles, but it's showing up in the reverse. What do you want with pile 1? What do you want? Cut through. Your person's confused. AF. So this is emotional mental clarity. Secrets come to light and breakthrough. Poker face showing up at the bottom of the deck. This says two-faced, lack of expression, hiding true feelings. Yeah. Okay, so again, energies, messages are coming through in the context of, you know, just the love triangle overall that's going on here. Pile 1, I truly hope for your sake you're not just learning all of this, you know, for the first time. Not that I want you to be involved in a love triangle at all, but I'm really feeling for the new person, right? The person who got into this connection thinking, you know, it was the start of something new and this and that, and, you know, both of them had clean slates because they didn't, right? the person on your mind pile one, they did not have a clean slate when they got into that new connection, whether that new connection is you, or, you know, you're the past person. I'm just telling you what's coming through. When this says that they're hiding true feelings, yeah, they're hiding their real feelings about everything. They're hiding their true feelings about their ex. They're hiding their true feelings about the third party, whether you're the third party or the ex is the third party. They're hiding their true feelings about, you know, that they're only really in page energy maybe towards the new person. This is getting so fucking confusing. Because I can read this multiple different ways. You know, broken promises. This almost feels like your person possibly wanting to break the love triangle, right? Finally choosing a path with one person and sticking to it. But the fact that it's coming, yeah, because I mean, someone's heart's going to get broken regardless, you know, maybe, I don't know. If you're the ex that they're still hung up on, your heart may not be broken if they choose the other person and not you. You may not even, I don't know. This almost feels like an active love, an active third party. You guys, why am I getting so like hung up on this? Yeah, so I mean, what does your person want? I mean, it's not so much coming through like what they want with you specifically. It's like, what do they want in this just overall situation? They definitely want clarity. Your person's having a hard time moving on from their past. Now, what I'm not really picking up on is whether or not they actually want to move on from that person from their past. I think sometimes they do, and maybe other times they don't. Okay. And I'll be honest, whoever the new person is, you know, no, I'm not going to go there. We'll just, you know, what they're wanting, they don't want any more, or they definitely don't want to cause any more painful love experiences for anybody involved. But we do have Thorny Rose in the reverse here, which in the upright again says fight for love. They don't want to fight for love. They don't think it's worth the trouble, okay? Let's find out what's going on with... You guys, I'm sorry if this has gotten so confusing, but the energies, it's hard for me even. Hopefully you guys are able to sift through some of the messages that are coming through. Let's see. Why is broken promises here in relation to pile 1? Tell me more about broken promises as it relates to pile 1. Ooh. Okay. They're actually not taking this lightly. Whatever this broken promise is. What's the promise that's being broken? Show me the energy of this broken promise as it relates to pile 1, the person watching this video. Ooh. Oh my God. This feels like somebody they're not supposed to be having sexual thoughts about. What, okay. Overall, I don't know. Fuck, what is this? Oh, if they promised you... See, I'm getting two different... Stop it. I'm getting split here. Okay. I guess I'll just have to speak to both camps. If you're the ex from the past, The broken promise they want to break is the one where they're supposed to like not think about you sexually or romantically anymore. They definitely want to break the promise where, and this definitely didn't, it may not have been a promise to you, right? And it may not have even been a promise that they made out loud to the new person, but there still carries the thing of like, you know, maybe it's implied, it's an implied promise, right? When they got with the new person that, you know, clean slates, right? I'm not going to go messing with my ex behind your back. And I feel like that's what they're wanting to do. They're wanting to break that promise about, you know, messing with the ex behind the new person's back sexually, right? With the Ace of Wands in the reverse. The Ace of Wands in the reverse is also talking about this broken promise is related to the person that, you know, either they're not having sex with anymore or they're not supposed to have sex with anymore. All right. So, this is what they want, right? So they're wanting to break that promise. Now, if you're the new person, I'm sorry, that sucks. And if you're the old person, just a heads up, you got that person still thinking about you. I'm hearing after all this time. And they're actually in their heads about it. And then we have the Eight of Swords showing up at the back of the deck. Like, this isn't, they're almost doing it to themselves, right? Well, not almost, they are. They're doing it to themselves. It's like they can't escape, the past person because they didn't allow themselves to properly grieve before trying to move on. Tell me more about Thorny Rose. Just be very careful with this person, because I'm over here looking at poker face, and what I'm seeing is your person isn't letting either one of you know what they're really thinking and what they're really feeling. Okay, be very careful with this person. It's beyond a mask. I mean, you know, it's very deceptive. I don't feel like they're doing it maliciously. They just got caught up. Okay, like I said, they moved on before they were really ready, and the past caught up with them after the novelty of the new connection died off. All right. Painful, let's see, Thorny Rose. Anything to add with Thorny Rose in the reverse, or do we need to move on? We're almost done. Okay. I mean, they're trying to correct measures here. They've caused a lot of damage and a lot of issues, and they're having a hard time getting a handle on the fallout. And there is some kind of a fallout here. No matter which side of the triangle that you're on. Cut through. What's this here for? Tell me more about cut through, please. Yeah. The Four of Cups in the upright coming out with the Star in the reverse. That's still giving me the vibe of the Two of Wands in the reverse. They don't know what path to take. And they're in a situation now where it's almost like they almost refuse. They're refusing to actually commit to a path. So just know that, like, whatever side of that triangle you're on, pile one, I mean, I'm not saying they don't want to budge, but it's almost like they're frozen. They're paralyzed in place. They don't, they're not wanting to fight for love anymore. They might be feeling a little bit exhausted. They're not seeing either side of the triangle, whether it's you, whether it's the new person or the past person. They're seeing pros and cons on both sides. It's why they're having such a hard time, like, picking a side of the fence and sticking to it, because, you know, they're seeing that both individuals, you and the other person, both of y'all have pros and cons, I guess, that kind of cancel each other out. That's why they're having a hard time actually picking a path. Because it's like what they're seeing, it's like the new person might have strengths and, you know, whatever the case may be, that they feel like maybe you guys didn't have, and vice versa. But whatever, and you had strengths that the other person doesn't have, and it's almost like they can't live without either one. Yeah, they're not seeing either one of you, and this is a really blunt message, so I'm sorry. Okay, they're not seeing either one of you at this point in time as like the whole package. It's like, if I pick, you know, if I pick pile one, then I'm going to be missing out on, you know, the awesome things that the other person has that pile one doesn't have. And if I pick the other person and let go of pile one, I'm going to miss out on everything, all the cool stuff that pile one has to offer that this other person doesn't have. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I'll be honest though, I don't see your person being able to make that call, that decision anytime soon. They're stuck. Okay, they're stuck. Yeah, so pile one, that was your reading. It was confusing for me. I hope for you that it made sense. Okay. But thank you for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, if you got from this reading what you came here for, take a moment, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family by hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And you guys, I will see you at your next pick a card love reading by pile one. Hi pile two, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. We are channeling your person. Like, who are you to them? Where do you stand with them? What do they want with you and from this connection? Okay, just kind of giving you guys a heads up, because I love to empower people with these readings. You know, I don't want to just be somebody that gives you guys hope, you know, that might keep you clinging to like a very toxic dynamic. What I'm hoping is to give you guys, like, you know, solid information that, well, because if you know where you stand, you know what to do, right? Whether you stay or go, but at least you are being given that option. All right, so we're getting the tea. We're getting we're getting the inside track and insight on how your person truly, like, where you stand with them. Okay, so just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general reading. Whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If something isn't resonating, just drop it, leave it behind. For whomever, you know, that information is resonating for. I do have personal readings if you would like for me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details are in the description box below. I have a lot of readings in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25, so go check them out. All right, so let's see. Pile two, you guys were drawn to the Bumblebee Jasper. It's a very fun, lighthearted, carefree, beautiful energy. It feels like the sun. I love Bumblebee Jasper. Let's see, who is pile two? Pile two, who are you to your person? We have the main energy here. We got the King of Air. That's the King of Swords showing up in the reverse, though. And then we have True Love. Okay, so a lot of reckless, it's either reckless, it can be chaotic, it could just be very ungrounded. Okay, this connection that could also be like who you are to them. It's like, you know, you might have some significance to them, definitely, with the, even though the King energy is showing up in the reverse, it's there. Okay, so there's something destabilizing this. And then we have, as long as you love me and as long as you love me and we're happy, who cares what they think? We also have no regrets and strictly sexual. Okay, a lot of contradicting energies for where you stand and who you are to your person, pile two, but it doesn't negate the fact that we do have true love here. Okay, What I'm seeing is either a tight-knit bond between you and your person, or at least maybe the potential for one. Love is here, feelings is here. This is who you are to them. You are their true love, okay? And for some reason, the component of a committed exclusive relationship is not here. Okay, love's here, true love is here, commitment, exclusive relationship, not here. Okay, so what's going on? Pile two's person. This almost feels like you might be pushing for like a label, or maybe actually pushing for like a commitment and an exclusive connection, and they're almost, I feel like they're digging their feet in about it, right? Digging their heels in, not wanting to budge on that front. It's like, you know, why fix what isn't broken? It's one of those kinds of things. Tell me more about no regrets. Well, it's no regrets. No regrets about what? I will say who you are to your person, even though they do see you as like, you know, I'm not saying they don't take you seriously. And as soon as I thought that, it just flipped out of my mind. You don't have a very stable or consistent like role or involvement in their life. I almost feel like, and that's by design, right? Because they're in here over here about no regrets and strictly sexual. I almost feel like, I don't know, did this start off as something more casual? It's just strange for me because, you know, I mean, it happens. People get into like casual connections and, you know, feelings can develop, but that almost feels like that's where it stopped, right? And this could also be true for those of you where maybe you had at some point in time, you know, a committed relationship with this person and then things went sour, you know. I don't know. I can see both dynamics at play here, you know. So this could be one that never made it to commitment and exclusivity, or it could be a connection where that was once part of the dynamic, and for some reason that's been removed from the dynamic, right? The feelings are still there, but the commitment part is gone, okay, for whatever reason. And I'll be honest, with some of the energies and the messages that are coming through, they're not in any big hurry, or even at some of you, your person doesn't have any intention right now to move it into that territory, okay? I mean, it says here point blank, strictly sexual. That's where they want to keep it. Tell me about no regrets. Ooh. What's the tower in reference to? This almost feels like they didn't mean or have any intention of catching feelings. But they don't regret that they did. They don't regret this true love energy over here. They don't regret having feelings for you or having fallen in love with you, if that's the case, right? We do have true love. Let me see the energy of the true love here. Nothing's wanting to come out. Tell me more about true love. Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Even the true love energy is not fully developed to the point to what it could be if your person would allow themselves or allow the connection itself and the bond itself to develop. It's not even as strong as it could be. And again, I feel like that's on purpose. This almost, again, this feels like your person, for many of you, didn't expect to fall in love or didn't expect to catch feelings. And it's almost like they don't regret that they did, but what they don't want is they don't want exclusivity. They don't want commitment. They don't want marriage. Blah, 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 right? This almost feels like that king of air energy coming up in the reverse now almost feels like your person doing that shit on purpose, knowing and seeing and feeling the feelings that they have, the bond wherever it's at now, and they know, right, that it could go deeper, it could be more expansive, it could have such a more of an influence on their life, and then they're like, that's exactly what I don't want. I don't regret the feelings, but what I don't want, and that could be another thing with no regrets. That could be what they're not wanting. They don't want to have regrets. You know, that's why they're keeping what they feel would be a tower moment from happening in their life. Should they, this almost feels like your person, like, I don't want happily ever after. I don't want that. Some people don't, you know, some people are afraid of happily ever after, especially if they're coming from a place of lack. You know, they might be future projecting fear, right? Projecting fear. What if it doesn't work out? You know? And with the Ten of Cups in the reverse at the back of the deck over here with the Tower energy, that's, they don't want to lock themselves into something that they're going to later regret because of like a breakup, you know, breaking up a happy home and stuff like that, okay? Anything else for no regrets? Let's still clarify the Tower energy. What was the Tower energy for no regrets? This could be also, too, your person making sure, you know, yeah, they don't want to regret having sown a lot of seed and a lot of resources and stuff only for things not to work out. They're projecting fear, okay, catastrophe into the future. They don't have a lot of faith in romantic connections. They don't have a lot of faith in marriage. It's one of those people, it's like, why get married if we're only going to end up getting divorced? It's kind of that dynamic, okay? Anything to add for strictly sexual? No, we'll move on. Okay. Let's see. Now we're going to find out where, let's see, pile 2, where do you stand with your person? Pile 2's person. Where does pile 2 stand with you currently? Right now. Let's get a couple more. Where does pile 2 currently stand with you, pile 2's person? Cassette. They're not going to be making changes to this dynamic anytime soon, pile 2. Not in the energy that they're currently in. Maybe I spoke too soon. There's a possibility, okay? There is a, oh, love, yeah. You see, there's feelings, all kinds of feelings showing up at the back, you know, in this reading. It's there. The love is there. The love is there. Your person is keeping it in the background, though. They're not letting that love or their feelings for you, like, take precedent over anything else in their life. Okay? Let's see. So, Girl with the Snake says, empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable. It also says boundaries. Cassette says outdated thinking, conditioning, replaying events over in your head. Oh, okay. And then we have Hammer. It says sabotage, rebuilding, interrogation, repetitive. Okay, persistent and working on it. Let me find out. I mean, we have love here. Like, there's honest, real, true feelings that your person has towards you. And they're blowing it. Right? Let's see. Tell me more. Let's see. Clarify Girl with the Snake, please, for where pile 2 stands with you. Yeah, we got the Nine of Pentacles showing up in the upright position. So, you know, as far as your person's concerned, pile two, where you stand with them, it's like both of y'all are single. You know, and the fact that this is showing up in, you know, Nine of Pentacles in the upright, I mean, neither one of you are codependent on each other, right? It could very well be that you guys like spending time together, but it's not coming from a space of like needing validation or, you know, trying to fill a void or anything like that. It's like you guys genuinely enjoy each other's company, right? Let's keep going. Tell me more. Clarify cassette, please. Yeah, your person is stuck in old ways of thinking, old ways of perceiving things. And actually what it's doing is where your person is coming from, and they're coming from a space of insecurity, a lack of self-confidence, fear and doubt and all of that stuff. Your person may not be confident, pile two, that they have the ability, because this is another king energy showing up in the reverse. They may fear or believe, you know, and they may have good reason to believe. They may fear that they don't have the ability to properly, efficiently, lovingly, what's the word? Lead. They don't have the ability to lead, but I'm like, they're wanting to be a good leader. Like, you know, if they're gonna take stewardship over their connection with you and be a good king energy, you know, that's somebody that takes, you know, their role in that person's life very seriously, right? Your person doesn't see themselves as a good leader, as a good steward, okay? Steward meaning being given something and then doing good things with it. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of difficult to define stewardship. All right. Yeah, so that's where they're at. I'm not picking up that they don't want to, but your person almost sees themselves as not being a good fit for you, or really for anybody. Your person legitimately may see themselves as not marriage material. They might see themselves as one hell of a hot mess. Okay. Tell me more about Hammer. Clarify Hammer for where pile 2 stands with you. Persistent. Okay. They're persistent towards what? What are they persistent towards? Because that's the Nine of Wands there. And that's exactly what the Nine of Wands can stand for, is persistence regardless, right? Persistent with what? You know, this is them saying, like, I'm here to stay, you know, as long as pile 2 is cool with it, I'm cool with it. Like, you know, they're not going anywhere. As far as they're not abandoning the connection, right? But let's see, persistent towards what? Five of Wands in the reverse. This may be them in like avoiding conflict, avoiding competition. This might be somebody that for whatever reason fears either them cheating or like you cheating, or just an element of competition within a romantic connection altogether. Your person could very well, with, you know, being in the King of Wands in the reverse energy and the King of Swords in the reverse energy, your person could very well have a wandering eye, okay? Especially if they're coming from a place of needing validation. Very much could have a wandering eye, and so that could be something that they're holding back from. because they know themselves. They're like, you know, yeah, I love pile 2. And then love at the back of the deck, it says it's unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, attraction. This energy is here regardless of how they are showing up. The reason why they aren't doing anything anymore or any further with this connection is because your person almost feels like they're going to mess it up. And the fact that they are showing up in King energy in the reverse, both in the King of Wands and the King of Swords, it's like they probably would. They might be dealing with unhealed wounds, right, that need to be dealt with, because I do feel like they maybe suffer from low self-esteem, whether you know that or not. It's showing up in the cards to the point of where they may legitimately crave attention from multiple sources. Okay, so they don't feel like they would be at this point in time where they're at in their development. They don't feel like they would be contenders for monogamous, exclusive, romantic, and sexual relationships, okay? At this point in time anyway. Let's see. Now what we're going to do is, what do they want? What is the outcome that they're hoping for or wanting in the long run? So while we're getting this energy here, you guys, if this is resonating, if you're getting from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor, if you would, smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below and let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it's resonating. It's always neat to read your guys' comments to see how these readings, you know, fit with people's real life circumstances. I don't wish any of this confusion on anybody, but it's always nice to know that, you know, you guys are gaining some value from it, okay? Anyway, yeah, become part of the family by hitting the subscribe button. Don't forget about the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. Pile 2's person, what do you want with pile 2? Extravagant gestures. I said that right. I said gestures in a previous reading and somebody corrected me. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. I could have sworn I came from a timeline where it wasn't gestures, it was gestures, but yeah, I'm all with going with the timelines. Let's get one more. Pile 2's person. What do you want with pile 2? Now this is interesting because what they're feeling and what they're wanting is not lining up with how they're actually showing up in the 3D. But you know what? I understand that. I can see it. They actually don't want this connection. You know, they don't want to lose you and they don't want to lose the connection. They're just having a difficult time reconciling their feelings with their fears, okay? So what is the outcome they're hoping for? It says extravagant gestures. It says gestures from the heart, walking the talk, okay? Making it up to you. So, you know, this whole energy is here, but if they have done something that hurt your feelings or something, they also want to make up for that. But this is just them like wanting to do something significant for you. You know, give you gifts, take you out, you know, do, you know, show you some way, shape, or form in the 3D, some that they, you know, feel the way that they do for you, okay? We also have all around them, it says, can't escape the connection. The telepathic experiences in your love haunts them. See, they don't want to lose you. They don't want this connection leaving their life. They don't want you to leave their experience, okay? And actually with all around them, it feels like they may actually want to spend more time with you, but again, their fears are kind of driving the bus at this point in time, okay? The fact that this is showing up as what they want, your love haunting them, they don't ever want to forget you. You know, they don't want to forget you. They want more of your presence in their life, okay? We do have cleanup showing up in the reverse. So in the upright position, it says cleaning up life, making healthy choices, cutting out the negativity. Yeah. This is them this is that clash, that inner struggle, you know. So the fact that we have the majority of the energy coming out is your person being more geared towards you exclusively. There's that one part of them though that's like, that's too much change, that's too much. But I will say it feels like in this sense what they're wanting, you know, more favors and outcome that includes you having more of a, maybe a centralized role in their life. But again, what they want and what they actually end up doing are two different things, or can be. New cycle at the bottom of the deck. It says new beginnings, the end of a cycle, making a fresh new start. Possibly wanting to start over, right? Maybe on a different foot. But again, this is back of the deck energy. It's not the strongest. And so that desire is there, but we've got a part of them that is highly resistant to it at this point in time. All right, you guys. Let's look at extravagant gestures. Tell me more about that, please. Oh, if y'all been Netflixing and chilling a lot at their house and not really doing a heck of a whole lot other than just hanging out, I feel like they want to get out of the house more with you. Have more experiences, right? Make more memories. With the Four of Swords in the reverse here. Tell me more. This could also be them just wanting to do or to offer some kind of an extravagant gesture as a way to get the connection itself, because you guys may not be in communication, right? And so that might be a way for them to feel like they need to jog this connection or put more energy into the connection to get it going again, right? The Four of Swords, when it's in the upright position, can talk about silence, things being very quiet between the two of you. Can even talk about no communication, taking a break from each other, right? And so if you guys are currently in separation or you're not talking, this may be one of the ways that they offer reconciliation, right? It could also just be your person wanting to do that to show you mean more to me than just like Netflix and chill, right? All around them, anything to add about that? Yeah, this is pretty much your person saying, because it says in this, again, the question that we're asking is what does your person want? What outcome do they want with you in this connection in the long run? It says can't escape the connection. They're not wanting to go anywhere. They don't want to let you go. They're not trying to escape the connection, right? The connection itself makes them feel really good when they allow themselves the luxury of feeling like the feelings that are attached to you and to the connection, right? What they want with you and from this connection. This is telepathic experiences. There's a part of your person, pile 2, that actually wants to be connected to the hip with you. Okay. And they are fighting that inclination, that desire to want to do that or have that kind of a connection and a bond with you tooth and nail. They're fighting it tooth and nail. Tell me about cleanup in the reverse. And then we will close your guys' reading. Tell me about cleanup in the reverse. Okay. Yeah, with the Magician showing up clarifying this, they are actively, this is where all their energy is going, to resisting this connection. These two cards here is your person having, you know, one foot on the gas pedal towards you and making progress in this connection. And then this last one over here is them having that foot on the damn brake. And honestly, that's where most of their focus and their attention and their awareness is going, into manifesting resistance here towards this connection, not making healthy choices, not cutting out the negativity. In fact, they're actively hanging on to negativity, right? Fearful thoughts and doubts and stuff like that as a way to keep themselves mentally and emotionally distanced from the feelings, the love that they have for you, okay? Yeah. All right, pile 2, that was your reading. Thank you again for hanging out with me today. I will see you guys at your next pick a card Love reading. Bye, guys. What is going on? Pile 3. We are back doing another pick a card love reading. If you're new here, my name is Michelle. We're doing another pick a card love reading. So we're tapping in and channeling who you are to your person. Where do you stand with them? What do they want with you in the connection? Okay. Just giving you a heads up on where you're at with your person. That way, you know, to give you options, to empower you, all that good stuff. My intentions with my readings are never to just give hope. Especially if it's going to, like, you know, keep you clinging to a relationship dynamic that's very toxic, okay? So just keep in mind, you guys, it's a general reading. Whatever resonates, take it, run with it. If it doesn't resonate, just drop it, leave it behind for whomever it's resonating for. I do have personal readings available if you want me to tap exclusively into you and your person's connection. All the booking details are listed in the description box. Check them out. I have a lot of readings available in the specific person category. Many of them are just $25. Really affordable, all right? Pile 3. You were drawn to the, I think this is Indian Sardonyx. I think it is. Yeah, Indian Sardonyx. Heart. Let's see, their overall energy. Who are you to them? Showing up as the messenger of Earth, which is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse in this deck. And then we also have chemistry. Okay. We also have we belong together. I want to marry you. And then we also have can we be friends? Why is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse here with all these other cards? The feelings are here. The intentions are here. You hold, you know, chemistry, definitely. Your person, there's feelings and chemistry and some kind of an attachment here, but there's something holding up the line, okay? Let's find out what is going on. Why is the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse? Why is that showing up in the reverse? Tell me more about the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. You are certainly somebody they can see. They can see themselves marrying, okay? You're the person that they believe that they're supposed to be married to or eventually get married to. Maybe they just don't feel like they're quite in the space for that yet. It's like the bones and the potential and the energy is there for that. But there might be something, and it could be practical. It could be something very practical getting in the way, okay? But let's see. What's the messenger of Earth in the reverse here? The Knight of Pentacles. Do you guys not get along for the most part? Do you guys butt heads or clash heads quite a bit? What's the messenger of Earth, please, in the reverse? Tell me more about that. Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I'm picking up on very fiery energies here. So this could be, and then we have the Queen of Cups showing up in the upright position along with the Page of Wands. But the Page of Wands was what flipped out on the board here. There, yeah. We have the feminine energy in this connection showing up in, like, the healthy, okay, expression of that energy, while, you know, the Page and the Knight are both showing up in the reverse. This, you know, there could be kids involved here too in this connection. The communication between the two of you, this chemistry may not be, the passion between the two of you that could be an issue in terms of it. Like, yeah, the passion and the chemistry is there, but passion, when it's not controlled and when it's unbridled, can do a lot of damage and destruction. And so this almost feels like, yeah, the bones and the potential and the love and the fire and the passion is there, but there's something between the two of you that fire, that passion can be very destructive, because passion is just intense emotion, right? You can be intensely attracted to somebody, or you can be intensely repulsed by somebody. And I do feel, for the most part, there's an intense attraction in a good way between you guys, but that passion, when it's not controlled, can be very damaging. And I feel like maybe that's what has gone through here. Your heart's in it, or the feminine energy, the divine feminine energy, their heart's in it. And I do feel like, but here's what the deal is. I feel like maybe there's an imbalance of energies here. We got a queen showing up in the upright position, and then we have a page and a knight, right, which are very underdeveloped energies, both showing up in the reverse. And so there may be a, someone in this connection needs to grow up and develop and mature, okay? And that could be causing a lot of discord and arguments and disagreements in this connection. And so with your person coming through with all of these energies, and at the very end they're like, can we please be friends? That feels like more like, can we get along? I want to be with you. I want to marry you. I feel like we belong together. Your person may even see you as somebody who is perfectly matched, like who's a perfect match for them, but it's like, we can't get along. Right? And you know, if you know that you're the divine feminine, then you might be seeing the person as being the problem, and they very well could be, right? Temperance, Sagittarius energy showing up at the bottom of the deck. There's definitely some balancing that needs to take place in this connection, okay? Balance, I'm hearing balance needs to be restored to this connection. All right, let's us move on. I feel like your person has high hopes for this connection. Let's see, pile 3's person. Where does pile 3 stand with you? Pile 3's person. Where does pile 3 currently stand with you, soulmates? I love it. It says soul connection, partnership, agreement, soul contract. I just heard, can we please work this out? Can we work this out? Okay, that's your person's energy towards you and towards the connection. Pile 3's person. Where does pile 3 stand with you? Pile 3's person. Ooh, these two come out, but they're in the reverse. We got the golden mirror, but it's showing up in the reverse, so that's a good thing. At the bottom of the deck, we have heartbroken. Ouch. Okay. Let's see. The golden mirror is showing up in the reverse. Let me see. In the upright position, it's a self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Again, though, it's showing up in the reverse, which is a good sign, okay? So if your person has, up until this point, you know, this may have been an active dynamic with you guys, but with it being in the reverse, it feels like that energy is on its way out, okay? So it won't be affecting your guys' dynamic anymore, because it's not going to be part of the dynamic. We also have talking, but it's showing up in the reverse. In the upright position, it says interested, conversing, more awaiting, awaited message arrives. Text, call. You guys are not talking. I'm hearing that Selena song. What is it? Charlie Puth? Is that how you say his name? We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. So you and this person used to be really close. Really close. And now it feels like you're not anymore. And it could very well be because of, you know, you guys broke up, you're separated, you're not together anymore. Heartbroken at the bottom of the deck. It says deeply hurt, sad, separation, breakup, feeling lost, grieving, and mourning, okay? Your person still feels like they're in the process of maybe rectifying whatever it was with them that may have caused them to show up in such a reckless energy. Because I almost feel like, yeah, okay, so the Knight of Pentacles, yes, it is showing up in the reverse. But if I had to see any of the energies here in terms of like, I'm happy that it was at least the earth energy that came out, because there's still some stability there. I actually feel like your person may have graduated from, like a very reckless Knight of Swords in reverse energy, even maybe Page energy, and graduated. They're graduating, right? So they are becoming more grounded, but they're still in the process of like developing that, okay? So, yeah, y'all aren't talking. This is where you stand with them but your person is, where you stand with them, they're not just thinking about themselves anymore. They're not holding that narcissistic energy anymore. And I know a lot of people have some misconceptions that true narcissists can't change. And you know what? That might be true. But I do feel like actual narcissism is a spectrum like autism. And so, people can have or be on a narcissism spectrum and not necessarily be sociopaths or psychopaths, right? And so that might be what happened with your person. They may have been embodying very narcissistic energy, but they weren't so far gone that they weren't able to heal that and get out of that dynamic. And I feel like that's what's going on here. So that there may have been some healing taking place in your guys' separation that has allowed your person to just like self-correct some very destructive behaviors, which is good, either way. Let's see what else we got here. These are all just... This is there's not a lot of fluff coming through in this reading. It's very direct, which is good. It's good. It's just not going to be a very long reading, okay? Let's see. What do they want? What is pile 3's person? What do you want? What outcome do you want with pile 3 overall? What outcome do you want with pile 3 in the long run? Pile 3's person. At this point in time, it doesn't look like a whole lot is going to change for what your person wants, which is weird because they're in this energy of feeling like the two of you belong together. They want to marry you, but can we please get along? But when it comes to like long term, it doesn't feel like they're going to be making any changes to the dynamic of your guys' connection anytime soon. Okay, at least in the interim. Now, usually when I do readings, when I think about like timing, it just automatically defaults to 3 months, 6 months out. So, they could be in this energy towards you, like maybe thinking and feeling like maybe it's possible for the two of you guys to end up together at some point later on down the line, like, farther down into the future. And so I will say for this, at this point in time, it doesn't feel like your person has any intentions. I'll say even desire. They may not even have any desire to change or switch up the dynamic of the connection at this point in time. And I feel like that's coming through in an energy of being at detriment to you. I don't know if you want things to change or if you want to shift in the relationship status or something like that. But I'm not feeling like that's what's going to be happening anytime soon. Okay, give me one more. Hot and cold. Yeah, they're not ready. They're okay, and this is why runner, okay, literally we got runner coming out with hot and cold. Your person's not ready to settle down and commit. They're just not. They're not in the energy for whatever reason. Not that they don't want to be. They see a future with you. They see you as somebody that they could actually, spend the rest of their life with. They actually feel like you're the one they're supposed to be with, but for some reason that's not coming out here. Maybe whatever the reason is, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but they're letting a lot of their own fears get in the way. So in light of this information, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse could be coming through more as avoidance, right? because had the Knight of Pentacles come up in the upright position, it's progress. It's slow moving, but at least it's progress in the right direction, right? But this is not making any progress, and that could be your person avoiding putting any kind of energy or effort into this connection that would progress it along, okay? I almost feel the energy of your person putting this connection on the back burner or on the shelf, to like maybe pick back up or look back into like at some point in the future when they're ready and or available, okay? But we have runner here. Yeah, it literally says avoiding the connection. Okay, running from themselves, ignoring you, and that's coming out right underneath talking in the reverse. Yeah, they're not talking. And with poker face showing up here, they're not wanting to talk. They're not wanting to reveal their feelings. They don't really want, it's not that they don't want you to know this, but there's something about them speaking it out loud to you. I'm picking this up, I'm channeling this. It's like they have a problem saying these things to you out loud because they feel like it would give you some kind of power and or control over them, okay? Why am I picking up on what's coming through is, that belief. It's I think it's a Catholic belief. I'm real big into watching like, you know, supernatural shows and stuff like that. But the part about where, you know, demons never like to tell you what their name is, because the minute you know what their name is and then you speak it to them, it's like all of a sudden you have the ability to control them, to direct them and stuff like that. And I kind of feel not that they're seeing you as a demon, but it's kind of the same thing, like your person not wanting to speak out loud to you how they feel and what they think about you in the connection, because it's like, and that could be very representative of them coming out in page and reverse energy and Knight in reverse energy, right? It's indicative, whatever is causing them to have this kind of an avoidant attachment style that's coming through, is also afraid of letting them, like fully surrendering to the power of their love, the power of the chemistry that they have for you, fully surrender themselves to the connection in the way that, you know, true love asks, right? And then single at the back of the deck. Yeah, they're not making any moves towards you or towards this connection at this point in time. Okay, they're not going to be locking it down with you at any point in time, at least not anytime soon. It says home in the reverse, but in the upright position it says location change in the home, feeling of home. So this is them literally coming through for a lot of you, like I don't want you to move in, or for some of you, I don't want you to move back in, right? They want their home to themselves. They don't want to change anything about the dynamic right now. Your person is feeling very stubborn, and for some of them they feel stuck. Okay, they may not tell you that, but they might be going through some kind of a character thing right now. Because again, I do feel like they have done some development. I mean, it's shown up here with the golden mirror in the reverse. So they have, you know, they may have been a lot, because Pentacle energy to me is not, it's not reckless, even when it's in the reverse. Like the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse is not reckless, okay? In fact, it can be somebody that's like, maybe even wanting to make progress, but they're overthinking it so much that they just don't. Again, avoidant coming through. All right, you guys, we're going to end your reading there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. If this resonated, or if you got from this reading what you came here for, do me a favor, if you would, take a moment to smash the like button for me. It's a wonderful way to energetically donate to the channel. Comment below. Let me know that you picked this pile. Let me know how it resonated. Become part of the family by hitting that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you don't miss a reading or an announcement. And I will see you guys at your next pick a card. Love reading. Bye, pile 3.